Sticking with politics, many could argue no level of government has a more immediate impact on someone's everyday life than the votes that happen in their own municipality. However, these elections often have the lowest turnout of all levels of government, particularly with younger people. City of Hamilton says it's adding new ways to vote, but will that even help increase interest? Outgoing Mayor Fred Eisenberger still can't explain why municipal elections just don't attract voters.
My experience in the 30 years that I've been involved is the number of voters that turn out for municipal elections hasn't changed very much. It's hovered in the 45% range. The federal elections hover in this 60% range, and I think provincially they're in a similar kind of category. Neither one of them are particularly admirable in terms of voter turnout.
The last Hamilton election saw only 39% of eligible voters cast ballots. Eisenberger says the city is implementing tactics from the past and the present in an attempt to hopefully boost ballots.
On-demand ballots at our post-secondary institutions, Mohawk and McMaster. A lot of students coming from other places but now living in Hamilton are entitled to vote. And the ballots are available for them on campus. First mail-in vote that can be achieved here. People can request a mail-in ballot online up until this coming Friday, September the 23rd, and then they can mail it in. Attracting young voters continues to be an issue. These McMaster students weren't even aware that municipal elections were a month from now.
It's a matter of informing them through different means, usually social media.
I didn't know municipal was coming up, so I feel like it would help if it's on social media.
I guess getting more information about when it's happening in schools themselves, as opposed to, getting it through my parents or getting it through the news.
Political science expert Zachary Spicer from York University says when it comes to enticing interest, no structural changes compares to who is running and what they stand for.
Candidates bear a lot of responsibility here for getting people excited. The municipality is going to do whatever it can to make the vote accessible and equitable. But beyond that, they don't have a lot of tools at their disposal to meaningfully increase turnout.
And for many young potential voters, they say they don't feel heard at all.
They don't really care about us. They're not going to bring any change to us. They don't care about the country or the people. So once people like me and him see that politicians are actually going to take our interests into their plan and actually implement what we want, then we're going to be encouraged to vote.
There's a housing crisis in Hamilton, and if you want people to come out, then you need to actually come up with solutions for these problems and actually follow through on them.
It's always the same party running with the same representative, and young people just don't feel like they're doing any favors for them. They don't feel like they're speaking to them. They're speaking more towards the older generations.
And Spicer understands why that could be.
They came of age in sort of the era of 9/11. They were kids then. And they came into an age of increased securitization. They've seen a recession. They're going through another recession right now. They've seen a global pandemic. There are lots of options that are unavailable to them that were available to the parents. I think that there is not necessarily a distrust, but just a malaise in what the system has produced for them, which at this point has been a lot of disappointment.
Now, one would think taking voting online could entice younger voters, but Professor Spicer says digital voting actually doesn't increase turnout by much, maybe 2%. It only really allows already committed voters to cast their ballot easier.